Hi there, Erin Lee here of heavenlymessenger.com, and welcome to this week's Connection with Intention. I'm so incredibly excited that you've joined me this evening, especially as per usual. We were really late in getting invitations out for tonight. I promise that next time will be better. Just so you know, my intention is that we'll be live next Tuesday, because the following weekend I'll be teaching my intuitive development course in class, and I won't be up for it the following Tuesday. So next Tuesday is the anticipated next date. If you follow me on Facebook and possibly Instagram, I'm not too savvy on Instagram. I will be putting up an email newsletter link again, and we'll be inviting people via email newsletter next week. Why would you want to do that? One, I'll make sure to have the Facebook link and the YouTube link, because this streams directly to both Facebook and my YouTube page. Sometimes people have a hard time finding it on Facebook. Facebook's gotten really kind of funny in terms of how long videos stay up. So I will be progressing more over to YouTube, and this way you have it right in your email box. I didn't get it out this week, but I promise next week will be better. And then also what I do is I give you a sneak peek of the Choose Your Adventure crystal reading crystals that we're going to use. So that gives you a bit of an opportunity to sit with the crystals and connect and see what kind of pops up for you as in terms of like choice and what you want to choose. So I have some, well, I think it's exciting news. So the last several months, I've been getting back to hosting a psychic playgroup, which has been a huge amount of fun. We've had 2 psychic playgroups so far. We've got 2 more coming up over the next several weeks. Next week is going to be the 3rd psychic playgroup. It'll be on Wednesday, May the 20th at my studio in Union Bay. And I'm excited because we are going to be doing abundance energy bowls. So this is incorporating the energy and the manifestation of the new moon, because the new moon is this coming weekend. And so we'll still be in the tail end of that energy. We're going to be using some pantry staples, which allow us to put our energy and our focus and our intention. They kind of serve as anchors. We're going to be doing some clearing. We're going to be using pendulums. We're going to be exploring doing energy clearing with water. We're going to be bringing in some pendulums to be setting some intention. We're pulling out some chakra clearing spray. It's kind of going to be a lot of fun. So I've just put the invitation out on my Facebook page. There are 2 spots left. If that sounds like something that you'd like to explore, I hope that you come and join us. Hold on. I even have a snazzy dazzy QR code here. Yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't show like the email address. If you go to my Heavenly Messenger website, so it's Heavenly, Lee, messenger.com, you can click through the classes or the class to the class registration. As I said, we've got 2 more spots. It's $33 for the evening. It's a couple of hours. And we've been having a huge amount of fun. And then the other invitation I have is for not this coming weekend, but the following weekend, which is May 23rd and 24th. I'm getting back into the intuitive development courses and classes over the course of the weekend. So we're kind of taking the fun that we have in Psychic Playgroup and we're expanding it by a whole lot. If you were here last week, you may have seen the new cards that I've created. This is the Intuitive Journey card deck, and you will be one of the first people to use the Intuitive Journey card deck, because that's going to be part of what we're going to be doing over that not the May long weekend, the May 23rd and 24th weekend. So that information is also available at the class registration on the class registration page. Oh, Erin, this does not bode well for a show where you're talking if you're already tripping over your words, but we're going to get through it and we're going to do it because we're here. So yes, heavenlymessenger.com. Hop over. You can check out the classes. You can sign up for whatever kind of tickles your fancy. And I hope that you'll join us. But in the meantime, we are here. We're connecting for connection with intention. If you haven't been here before, this is the kind of setup that we have. We're going to talk a little bit about the energy that's been coming up, going on recently. Then we'll flow into what I call Choose Your Adventure crystal reading, where I'll flash some crystals up on the screen. You'll think about any questions you may have, and you get to choose a crystal to represent the message that you're going to receive this evening. Once we finish that, and please not beforehand, you're also welcome to ask your specific questions in the chat. And I will go through and I'll pick people for mini psychic readings. Now, to keep things fair, if you received a reading on the last show, I'm going to ask you either to not ask any questions today. You're welcome to comment, to say hi. We're glad that you're here. But if you do ask a question, and if I remember, I'm going to skip over you and thank you for being here. But we get so many questions that I'm not able to get to, that I'm trying to keep it as fair as possible. When you ask your question, ask your best question. I only see one. If you go back and you edit it, I don't see that in my program here. So I get the first thing that you sent through, and that's what I'm going to answer. A couple of people I noticed on the last stream that we did a couple of weeks ago said, "Oh, you skipped over me." I didn't. I go down the way that they come through. So remember, they're coming in from Facebook and YouTube, and they're kind of like shuffling them in all together. I don't know if they're coming in order. I can only go based on how it's showing up. So I guarantee you that I am not intentionally skipping you. I'm going through the questions as they come up. So with all that said, holy guacamole, the energy has been feeling intense, and I feel like I've been saying that for ages. I don't know about you guys, but I know that I've been feeling the need to cry a lot. In fact, 20 minutes before we came on, I'm like, oh no, you can't be crying right now, Erin, because you're going to go live and everybody's going to see your red blotchy face. So there's been a lot that's been coming up. There's a lot of purging and releasing that we're going through, we're experiencing. Sometimes it makes sense and you're like, yep, there was a trigger that came up before that, need to cry, and I can pin it down to that. And other times it's just because everything is feeling really big and it's feeling really raw. And if you've been going through that and experiencing that, it may be tears, it may be anger, it may be other big uncomfortable emotions to feel and experience. I want you to know that you're not alone in that. Times are weird. They're weird. They're scary. It's big. There's a lot that's going on. There's a lot of uncertainty, and there's a lot of change that's happening. And so it makes sense that we are physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually going through a variety of different releases right now. So know that you're not alone. And as much as you can, give yourself compassion for what you're going through. Give others compassion, because it's not easy, and we're all trying to do the best that we can with the resources that we have. And sometimes we have really stellar resources, and other times we don't. So if we can give ourselves compassion, it's easier to give compassion to others. And so that's one of the biggest things that you can do right now. Slow down where you can. Find peace where you can. Take stress and pressure off of your plate where you can, and continue to do the best that you can. As we are moving along, going through, doing life the best that we can, make sure that you're taking care of the things that you know help and support you. For me, this is always about getting back to basics. These are the simple things like water and food, and food is a lot of different things. Make sure that you're eating regularly, because for some of us, it's easy to forget to eat. So make sure you're giving your body the resources that it needs to continue to move on and move forward. Eat healthfully and in a way that's balanced, a way that agrees with your body. Sleep is such an important thing. Oh, sorry, I just had something pop up on my computer. It's weird. We're going to go with it. Sleep is important as well. Getting out into nature, slowing down, breathing, self-care, taking care of the stressors in your life so they aren't constantly there. Compassion is also important. Taking time to meditate or to disconnect from day-to-day life, to connect with something that feels meaningful and significant. Maybe there's opportunity for some creativity, or to spend time with the people that you love and the people who are important to you. So be gentle with yourself, be gentle with others. And remember that you're not alone in what you're going through and what you're experiencing, because everybody right now is going through lots of ups and downs. So we do the best that we can with the resources that we have. Awesome. Let's go over and take a look at the chats. Oops. Okay. Margaret, hello. Happy Tuesday. It's so good to see you. And hello to Pamela. Thanks for joining us. Andrea, hi. It's so good to see you. And Kate, hello. Margaret saying Psychic Playgroup sounds like so much fun. I wish I was closer. I wish you were closer too. I'm going to see if there's a way that I can do Psychic Playgroup online in a Zoom, because it's so much fun. And I'd love to be able to connect with more of the people that I have in North America and around the globe. Anyway, hopefully coming soon. Let me see. Yes, and Andrea says that she switched over to YouTube. Absolutely. YouTube seems to have a better connection sometimes. I don't have the link here, but if anybody should happen to have the link, I will pop it down and I'll share it in the comments. And Sarah says, hi. Let me see. Oh, yes, you're wondering about what forces helped you in your car accident. Please ask once we come to the psychic reading questions. I'd love to connect with that and see what comes up for you, Sarah. And welcome. And Pam says that she switched from YouTube to YouTube as well. Welcome. Hi, Josie. Oh, it's so good to see you. I'm sending big hearts back to you. Hi, Suzanne. It's great to see you too. Hold on to your question and please bring it back. And Lisa Mary. Hi, I'm so glad to see you. It's been a while since you've been on. Thanks for joining us. Awesome. So let's move over to the Choose Your Adventure crystal reading. I will pop this up. Oops, there we go. Another promise that I have is I'm going to go and I'm going to take more pictures of crystals. As we're coming up on the energy of the new moon this coming weekend, it felt really appropriate to pull out some spheres. So the crystal spheres that we have this week are obsidian, rose quartz, and clear quartz. So for the Choose Your Adventure crystal reading, this is an opportunity for you to receive a message about what you need to know about whatever you're wanting to ask about. So you're more than welcome to ask more than one question, but I'd encourage you to ask something that's kind of specific. So, for example, what do I need to know about my love life? Or what do I need to know about work and career? What do I need to know about finances? And so whatever your question or questions may be, think about one at a time for right now, and take a deep breath and just allow your body to settle. And you can call in your helpers. So helpers for me, I love working with angels. I always ask in and invite in my angels for help, support, and clarity. And the general helpers that I tend to call on are God, Source, Universe, angels, ascended masters, other beings of light. So whoever you like to work with, invite them into today's reading and just ask, what is it that, or which crystal rather, best represents the question that you are asking? So once you've invited in your helpers, once you have become clear on the question that you are asking, which crystal resonates, which message resonates more for you for this evening? Is it obsidian? Is it rose quartz? Or is it clear quartz? So again, one more time, obsidian, rose quartz, and clear quartz. And as we did last week, we're going to pull a card from the new Intuitive Journey deck. So that's obsidian, rose quartz and clear quartz. And because these are more of an intuitive teaching tool as opposed to an oracle card deck specifically, I'm also going to choose a card for each of these from the Archangel Oracle card deck. So obsidian, rose quartz, and clear quartz. Oops. All right. So I hope you've had a moment to be here, guys. I can't take. Oh, there we go. Good. Jeez, Louise. Technology has been a bit of a trick for me today. I almost dropped my laptop, 10 minutes before we were going live, and then the mouse wasn't working. Today we're showing up as we are. Okay, so if you have chosen Obsidian, this is your card for today. So when I look at this, what I see is that we are coming out of a sense of darkness and challenge. And it feels like it's been a long road and we're heading towards something that feels really bright. The image is kind of cut off a little bit here at the top, but we can see that we've been in some sort of tube or tunnel and there hasn't been a lot of outside access so maybe we've been feeling a little isolated and a little alone. But what we are moving into is something that feels really bright. It feels really open, where there's lots of option, lots of opportunity. We've been working hard, though, to get there. Not only have we maybe been feeling a little isolated or disconnected from this, but there's been a lot of trial to kind of come to this point, to get through this. We've been riding uphill, but we're moving through, we're moving forward. And so the message that's coming up for you, if you've chosen Obsidian for the evening, is that we are making progress. We are moving forward, and literally we're heading towards the light at the end of the tunnel. And you can see that we're just about there. We're right at the precipice of that. So whatever you've been working on, know that it's going to start to get easier. This is also a validation of the challenge that you have been going through. And sometimes we need to recognize that, yes, this has been a challenging situation and it's going to get better. We have Archangel Zadkiel here with the compassion card. We've just been talking about that. His message is soften your heart with respect to this situation and all the people involved, including yourself. So all of the messages that we received earlier about compassion, especially self-compassion and compassion for others, is really coming to the forefront here. And again, like giving ourselves compassion for what we've been through, the work that we've put into this, the energy. And again, especially if you've been feeling alone or isolated or unsupported in this, allow yourself to breathe and to know that there is help and support that is available to you in these next steps. So slow down and take your time. But also full steam ahead. Okay, now our middle crystal was rose quartz, and this is quite fiery. So there is a lot of energy that's coming up in the circumstances and situation that you're in right now. Things are on fire, they're moving forward. There's a lot that's shifting and changing and happening. I also feel a really strong call, pull, and draw to find the passion in the situation. What is driving you? What is motivating you? What is passionate for you within the circumstances or situation that you're in? And if you're looking and you're like, I can't find that, then look to find ways where you can bring that into this situation, or to see if maybe there's something that's kind of off to the side that helps to invite that sense of passion. But there's a lot of energy that's here and it is just waiting to break out and to break free. So things are moving forward. The card that we have here is the Clear Your Space card, and this is Archangel Jophiel. Her message is get rid of clutter, clear the energy around you, and use Feng Shui. So another way that we can see this is that there's also a lot of very rapid clearing that is happening here, or the potential for that here. And so if you're like, I'm not seeing any passion here, I don't have any motivation here, then look to see where change can happen, because this is also a highly transformative card as well, particularly when we put into perspective this clearing card that we have coming up. Archangel Jophiel also helps us to make things beautiful with where they are. So if things are feeling really messy and challenging in the situation that you've asked about, she's also helping to find ways to clear things out, to make it more comfortable, to make it beautiful, to make it an enjoyable place to be. So either we're working with passion and motivation, or we're seeing some pretty big change and transformation coming up. And then our last card is for clear quartz. Now, this is really interesting because this is also very much a fire card, but is very much contained. It feels very peaceful and warm and inviting. There's also a fair amount of structure that's coming up here. So even though we have fire at the forefront, we do have change. We also have a sense of warmth and comfort and connection. This has a really strong homey feel. So a sense of gathering, a sense of community, a sense of coming in from the cold. And so with this, there's a lot of support, potentially some tradition that's coming up within this situation for you as well. But we're looking to find the ways and the places where there is comfort here that's waiting for us. So slow down. Take your time. This isn't a time to rush, to push, to force. This is a time to rest and to enjoy and to let go. I love that Archangel Sandalphon pops up with this card, and his message is all about victory. Your prayers have been heard and answered. Have faith. So I'll talk a little bit about this. Archangel Sandalphon is the angel who raises our prayers up to God, source, universe, whatever your belief system is. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Whatever your belief system is, Archangel Sandalphon lifts up our prayers and our wishes. And when this card comes through to the forefront, it's basically saying everything is a-okay. Everything is moving along as it needs to. What you have been working on, what you've been asking for help with is being heard. So breathe, slow down, take your time. And again, rest. This is where we come to at the end of the day, at the end of the season. There isn't a lot that's left for us to do, but to rest and to be. And this card really confirms and affirms that message as well. All right, so I noticed that we've had a couple of questions coming in. I'm going to start from I'm not really sure. I'm going to call you Let, my friend, because I'm not exactly sure how else to say that. So questions to come in after now, or when I'm going to be, or the ones that I'm going to be answering rather, I'm going to ask you to be really specific with the question. So for example, I don't do readings for, what messages are coming up for me. Can you pull a card for me? Please ask something specific. And also, if you had a reading last time, I'm going to thank you for joining us and coming on. But to give everybody a chance and an opportunity, I'm going to skip over people that we've just read for. Okay, love and light to you too, my friend. Thanks for joining. Oh, Lee, perfect. Thanks for joining us. Oh, Andy, I'm so sorry, my love. Oh dear, we did a reading for you last time, my friend, and so I'm just going to give everybody a second and an opportunity to ask questions. If we don't have any coming in, then I will come to your question. And I'm just going to go back and see if I've missed anybody. Let me see. Hi, Gwen. It's so good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Oh, and Jenna, it's so good to see you too. I hope that you have a really lovely sleep tonight. Thanks for popping on. Beautiful. Awesome. And Margaret saying Obsidian was spot on. Love the new deck. Oh, thank you. I'm glad that you like them. Okay, beautiful. Becky, hello. Thanks for joining us. Okay, I see I've only got one question coming in. So, really quickly, I'm going to do Andrea's question here. I have unfortunately had to kick my son's girlfriend out due to major disrespectful behavior. I've done my best to not, but I need to honor myself. I know he won't forgive me. Oh, that's such a tricky one. He will. It will come back around, but it's going to take some time. And I'm not seeing you pushing too hard with this situation either. There are a lot of energies and forces at play. There is definitely a rift that feels like it's apparent between the two of you right now. What do we need to know about this? I'm hearing to pray. So whatever that means for you and to you, I'm seeing asking for help and support in clarity. You're really clear about the situation. It feels like he does see a little bit of your side, but he's torn. Allegiances at this point are with his girlfriend. But he's showing me that he is seeing some of what you were seeing, maybe not all, but that there are shifts that will happen, that will come up within the relationship, within both relationships. I'm going to pull a really quick card for you because I'm seeing all of the other comments come in and I need to start moving forward. I'm so glad that this card came up because I absolutely love this imagery. And so basically this is saying that you're not alone. Like you're looking to navigate things, how do I move forward with this? And you have part of the puzzle, but the other half of the puzzle is the map itself. So it's not something that you alone can fix. It's not something that can be completely supported by you, and that you don't need to be either. So, this is a representation of you and him, but it's also a representation that you're not alone in this. And I'm hearing Archangel Raguel asking for you to trust and to ask him for help and support to create harmony in relationship again, so that both of you are able to see the other person's point of view, because he's showing me that there are things that you aren't seeing either. So there's miscommunication that's happening all around in the situation, in the circumstances. But I'm sending lots of love and support your way. It is going to get better. It's just going to take a little bit of time. I'm so glad that you joined us. Thank you for hopping on. Awesome. Margaret, thank you. I'm so glad that you love the new deck. Okay, Lee, thanks for joining us. Lee's wondering, how do I show my gratitude back to those who need to hear and feel the love of what is beyond words? Oh, that's a really interesting question. So first of all, it feels like it's not so much an expression of words, and I'm not sure if the person or the people that you're needing to express to, like, it feels like words come easy is kind of what they're telling me, and they're showing me that actions for them speak louder than words. And so I'm hearing consistency and showing up. This is really coming through from a relationship point of view, as opposed to helping people to feel loved. So I hope that that's what the question was that you were asking about, because it feels like these are specific relationships or relationship that you already have. And so for the people that you're talking about, it feels like words are easy, and that if the action isn't backing up the word, then there isn't as much validity that they're seeing with it. It also feels like it's important for them to be in a place, in a space where they can receive that. And I'm kind of reminded of holding a bunny that is scared. And I don't know if you've ever held a bunny to your chest and you felt its heartbeat and it just races, and not only because their heartbeats beat faster than ours, but also because of the fear. And it feels like that's a big part of what's coming up. And I'm wanting to support them in I'm wanting to support them in regulating their nervous system so there isn't fear that's there. But also it feels like you may not be the person who is meant to do that. I've got some boundaries that are coming up as well. And so I'm wanting to make sure that the people that you're wanting to offer the love and support to, that they are open to receiving the love and support as well. And if in any way anybody is indicating that this isn't something that they're open to, then it's something that you need to respect. Something that I talk about a lot when it comes to sharing intuitive messages with people is that consent is really important, and love and energy are kind of the same way as well. I had an experience many years ago. I practice and teach Reiki as well. And there was somebody that I didn't know very well, but I had met her before. And she and a really good friend of mine had a falling out. And I could see where she was hurting. And so I had wanted to send her, the person I didn't know very well, some Reiki, some love, some healing, because I could feel that, you know, oh, Jesus, excuse me. Something just fell again. I'm having a hard time tonight. And I'd wanted to send some energy to her, but when I connected with her to ask if I had permission to send Reiki, to send healing and support, I got a very loud and clear no. And that was from herself. And so I said, hey, higher self, can I send some Reiki to you that you can then use on her behalf when it's appropriate? And I got a very clear no, that I was not to engage, even though all I wanted to do, I didn't want to manipulate, I didn't want to change her mind or anything like that. I just felt somebody who was hurting, and I just wanted to send some love to her. And it was a very straightforward no. And so I'm feeling some boundaries that are coming up here as well. And it could be that that's part of the situation that you're in at the moment, is that as much as you're wanting to share, it may not be appropriate at this time, at this moment, for you to share. And so coming back into being able to give love where love is open to being received and accepted. And then also, if there is a dynamic within the relationship, to make sure that you are being consistent in the way that you're showing up as well. Lee, let's take a moment and just pull a card for you here and see what's popping up for you. What does Lee need to know right now? So we've got a message of gentleness that's coming here. And so with this, we're kind of in a place of observing. The butterfly hasn't come to land directly and specifically on our hand, but it is connected to us. And there is a sense of like holding a bit of space. Butterflies for me are all about transformation and transition. But the transition here isn't yours. I'm seeing you as being the hand that is here. And so literally we're holding space. We aren't pushing, we aren't forcing. We're kind of recognizing that whatever is happening with the butterfly, and we aren't a direct part of that. I'm also coming into this flower here. And for me, it's coming through as both a yellow and kind of an orange. And yellow and orange for me, I go into the chakra system. Yellow is the solar plexus chakra and orange is the sacral chakra. For me, the solar plexus chakra is all about sense of self, who we are, that willpower, that determination, where the sacral chakra, the orange, is really about passion and creation and creativity and nurturing, and actually warmth comes up with that chakra as well. So there's a sense of both energies and entities connected by this, like this sense of self, the sense of will, the sense of who we are. So there's a sense of discovery that comes up with that, with an underlying passion and warmth and nourishment and nurturing. So there are a lot of different elements that are coming into play here, energies that you can focus on within yourself to help to create that sense of stability that we had talked about, while also the other person or people are in a place of exploring themselves. when it comes to any sort of learning and healing, it's on us as individuals. There can be people who help and support us along the way, but it's on us individually, how we're going to move forward. Lee, I'm incredibly grateful that you joined us this evening. Thank you so much for hopping on. I'm sending big hugs, lots of love and support your way. Awesome. Becky, hello. It's so good to see you. Sarah, awesome. I'm so glad. So Sarah says, I was in a recent car accident and felt protected by a force. And I was wondering which ones, so I can properly thank them. Oh, that's beautiful. So first and foremost, when it comes to something like this where you're not sure where the thanks should go, we'll come to that in a moment. The way you can do is you can come into a place of calm and quiet for yourself and just speak out loud. Say, hey, I don't know who was there, who helped me, who supported me, who saved me, but I want to thank you for being there, for helping, for supporting, and for keeping me safe. So you can always do that and trust that if the energies and entities were there to help you and support you initially, they will be there to receive the thanks as well, because whether you called them either consciously or subconsciously, they were there and knew that they were needed. And in the same way, you can trust that that expression will come forward as well. But let's see. Okay, so I have a lot of angel energy that's coming up, but I also have some deceased loved one that are coming up as well. Oh, this isn't my forte. We don't do mediumship on the show, but here's what I have. I have someone who feels like he is an older gentleman. So I don't think that it's definitely not your generation. It doesn't feel like it's the previous generation. So in your parent level, I'm going one further. So if I were to guess, I would say that this feels like a grandparent who's coming through and masculine. Somebody who shows me that protection felt like it was really important to him, or that protection is something that he is learning and figuring out on the other side. But he's showing me that does feel like that's important. And literally, like, I feel like it's kind of the reverse of the soccer mom save. I don't know if you've ever been in a situation where you've been the one driving and you're needing to put the brakes on quickly and you throw your arm out to prevent whoever is next to you from going forward. I did that to a now ex-boyfriend once, and he's like, Erin, your arm would do nothing to save me, but that really hurt. Anyway, it doesn't matter. That was just a bit of funny that came up. And then, yeah, so there are a couple of energies and a couple of forces that feel like they were coming up that held and supported you. As I said, I've got lots of angelic energy that's coming through. Who do we have? I've got Uriel coming up. I've got Raziel coming up. I've got somebody who's coming up who's helping you with higher intuitive understanding as well. And I'm not exactly sure who it is. I would have said Angel and Raziel. However, the energy's feeling a little bit different. Just so happens I've got my book here and I never pronounce his name properly. Hold on. It is Melchizedek. It's Melchizedek. I believe he's the one who's popping up for me and is wanting to talk about greater spiritual awareness and understanding and teaching. And I believe he's also got kind of an interesting personality too, which would certainly also explain that story. It randomly came up. Let's see what messages are coming up for you for the cards here, Sarah, as well. And I also want to say I'm really glad and grateful that you are safe. So we have here what is essentially the ripple effect. And to me, this feels like this is also an encouragement to recognize the power and the impact that you have to create change. It doesn't have to be big, it can be very subtle. But if you take a look at this, we've got this huge body of water that is otherwise very calm, and literally just a single little boop with a finger has created these ripples that radiate out from a single touch. It feels like, although the messages that were coming up were really kind of forceful, like pushing back, creating space, creating a lot of protection, it feels like a lot of the encouragement is to understand how powerful you are within yourself, and that the push and the force and the movement doesn't need to be big in order to create change, and to create change that ripples out through a very big body. So I'm hearing with this that part of the lesson that you're learning at the moment is that less is more, and that this may also be true if there's any recovery that's coming up for you right now. Less is more. Sarah, I'm so incredibly grateful that you joined us this evening. I'm sending big hugs, lots of love and support your way, and lots of gratitude to all of the forces that came together to hold you, support you, and to keep you safe with the accident you were in. Thanks for joining us. Claudia, hello. It's so good to see you. Heidi, welcome. Heidi says, I just changed jobs again a month ago and bought a house. Congratulations. Has been a little bit overwhelming for sure. Just want to know if everything is going to work out and to be okay. Yes, it is. It feels like there's something that's taking a little bit of time to settle down and to adjust. So it feels like we've still got some ripples that are coming up, and that everything is going to balance, to adjust as we move through the next couple of months. August is coming up as being a significant time where it really feels like you've settled into your groove, into your rhythm, your routine. So to me, that means that your house feels like it's comfortable. Your house feels like your home. Work routine is coming up. Passion career feels like it's coming up and being settled. There are lots of different pieces and components that are coming to the forefront that are just waiting to be settled, to be taken care of for this new routine to start and develop. And things are just coming together. And we just had a card flip out for you. And everything is moving at the speed of light. So there are lots of things that are shifting and changing, and everything is feeling really busy around you. And yet, there are things that are really steadfast, that aren't changing, that aren't shifting. Got these really prominent buildings in the back. We've also got some trees here along the side as well. So even though everything is moving and shifting and things are changing, the things that aren't changing are the things where we ground ourselves, where we find that balance and that stability. And it feels like that's part of the shift that's coming up for you as well. Everything can move quickly around you, but you being in a place of ground is part of what allows things to come to you. So rather than being part of the race that's happening here, you're coming into this sense of balance and stability, and you are drawing to. It's interesting because I don't know that this actually speaks as much to the question that you've specifically asked about, but it feels like this is part of how you are moving forward and carrying forward. I'm going to ask for one clarifying card for you just to see what else is coming up. Oh, that's interesting. We pulled this earlier for somebody else. So this is saying that what I'm noticing here actually is that the compass is in your hands. The path, the direction, where you're wanting to go, that's already within your hands. There is a pathway that's laid out for you, but you also have the opportunity to choose as well. So within this, what is it that you're wanting to focus on? What is it that you're wanting to ground in? And what is it that you're wanting to call into yourself? So we're no longer reaching, but we are coming into a place of confidence. We are becoming the tree. We are becoming the building, where everything is coming to you as opposed to you going to it. And it feels like there's a bit of a switch in mentality. And that's part of how everything becomes okay and becomes grounded and rooted moving forward. So there are shifts that are still happening. There are still adjustments that are happening. But it's not something that I'm concerned about. It feels like it is going to take a couple of months. But on the other side of that, things feel like they start to move and flow and is very easy. So take time over the next little while to ground in your space, to become comfortable in your space, and to become really aware and really clear on what it is that you're wanting to invite in and what you're wanting to focus on. And it's not about reaching, it's not about wondering, it's about the confidence of it already being there. Heidi, I'm so glad that you joined us this evening. I'm sending big hugs, lots of love and support your way, and congratulations on your new home and your new workplace. That's awesome. Let me see. Sarah, I hope that we got your reading right. I'm just seeing your message here now. Awesome. Pam, hello. It's so good to see you. Pam saying, I was hoping that you could tell me when I will be moving and if perhaps I will find love. And Pam chose obsidian and it was spot on for her. Amazing. Okay. So I'm getting a flip-flop when I'm asking about a move, because I don't know if it's that you're not completely sure about where you're wanting to move, or if you're not sure how things are going to happen. Like I'm feeling the desire to make move and to make change, but I feel like there are all of these different things that I'm just not sure about. I'm not sure how it's going to come together. Maybe I'm not sure where I'm going to go. Maybe I'm not sure how it's all going to like come together and to work. So it feels like we're needing to answer some of those questions first, because right now it's kind of like we're saying to universe, hey, I want to make a move, and then as soon as we say that, we start going through a tunnel and everything starts breaking up and crackling, and universe is like, what is it that you want? We can't help you if we don't know. So become clear. And one of the things that I'm hearing, because some of it feels like it's logistics based and there's question about like, how is it going to happen potentially? And with that, I want to encourage you to talk to your angels or whoever, whatever you like to work with, and say, hey guys, here's what's happening. And when you talk to them, make sure you talk to them as if they are your best friend. So if you're talking to your best friend, you can tell them absolutely anything, even if it's incredibly embarrassing. And you can break down and cry as well. But talk to them as if they are able to do something about it. So sometimes when we're talking to a best friend, we're kind of venting and we're complaining, and we just need to get it off of our chest, because likely, unless it's something to do with them specifically, there isn't anything that they can do about it. But it's different when we're talking to angels or ascended masters or God, source, universe, creator, whoever, whatever your belief system is and who you like to talk to. And so for me, I like to talk to angels, and I say, hey, angels, this is what's going on. I'm scared that I'm not going to find a place. I'm not going to be able to afford a place. Maybe I really like where I am, or I'm nervous about a move, whatever it is, because it feels like there are a couple of niggly things that are going on here. Just be really clear with them about what it is. Oh, and then I felt the heartbreak. Hold on. And then I felt the heartbreak and the grief, which is also complicating is the wrong word. But it also feels like it's part of the equation that we have here. So hold on a second. We're still talking to our angels. We're still asking for help and support, but we're also asking for help and support with the heartache, the heartbreak, and the grief that's coming up. Because there's a whole pile of emotions that are coming up there, and there are things that are still needing to be settled. So we're asking for help and support with that. And it's interesting because on the one hand, as I said, it feels like you're ready to move. And yet on the other hand, I've got all of these other conflicting things that are coming up that are saying maybe not quite yet. So there is a move that's coming. Where are we going with this? They're flashing in October of this year. It feels like it could be a little bit sooner than that, but I'm flip-flopping on how that's coming together and how that's working, because they keep showing me that there's some time to like unravel, untangle, and to figure out where we're going, how we're doing this, what we're doing. So again, we're asking for help with that. But it feels like we've got some shifts, some significant shifts that are happening in October. And that carries forward into the new year, into 2027 as well. So I don't think this is a super quick process, but it does feel like it's a really thorough process. Really quickly, because I know that you asked a second question, I want to see if we have some messages that are coming up around love for you. I do have love that's coming up. It feels like we're looking... The timelines are funny for you, my friend. So it feels like we're looking more towards the new year for this, although I do have somebody who's popping up who might be closer right now. I'm going to say he, because I have a man who's coming up for you, so I hope that's okay. It feels like there's a fair amount of respect that's coming up. So a sense of not wanting to overstep or to intrude. But also, I'm not entirely sure that this is somebody that you're interested in, because this feels like somebody you already know. Either this is old friend, old family friend. I can't tell exactly what's coming up with him. He's showing me that he's willing to wait. So if somebody's kind of popping up and you know that you're not interested, make sure that you're clear about that with them when it feels like an appropriate time for you. So I do have somebody that's coming up fairly quickly, but I don't know that this is necessarily the person that you're looking for. I have somebody else who's popping up more in the new year, in 2027. So know that love is something that you will find. It is coming, but it's not right away. There are other things where I'm seeing your energy and focus going. Okay, let's pull a card for you, my friend, and see what we've got coming up. We have a feather that's coming up for you, and I have lots of messages that are coming through with this. For me, there's a sense of peace, there's a sense of hope, and a sense of optimism as well. Things being lifted off of your chest, worries off of your chest, emotion being lifted off, or transformed is maybe a better word, because emotion doesn't leave, it just kind of changes. So there is a lightening feeling that happens. It feels like there's a little bit of wind, like there's a little bit of movement to me in this feather that we have here, and it feels like a little bit more and this feather could take off. So it feels like we're coming into a place of, again, some movement, some shift that's happening, but it's light and it's gentle and it's easy, and there isn't any push or force. And the whole overall picture is really bright, it's really loving, it's really supportive. For me, I see feathers as being messages from angels, and also from loved ones on the other side, as just kind of a quick little message to say, hey, I'm here with you, I'm okay, I love you, I support you. So I'm wanting to encourage you to pay attention to the feathers that you may see lying on the ground, out and about and around, because it feels like it's not only angels that are wanting to let you know that they're around, helping and supporting you, but I've got a loved ones on the other side that are wanting to let you know that they're okay and not to worry about them, and that they want you to know that they're at peace, and that they want peace and joy and all of the amazing things that life has to offer, that they want that for you too. Pamela, I'm so incredibly grateful that you joined us this evening, and I'm sending big hugs, lots of love and support your way. I'm really grateful you came on. Becky, hello, my friend. It's great to see you. Let me see. I'd love to know if starting a landscaping business here, either by myself or with my neighbor and a local Indonesian, which we would need to start, or practice my patience, and some other work will come in. Okay, let's take a look. So basically, we're looking at patience, other work and landscaping work. One of the things that feels good about the landscaping work for you is it feels like it allows you to move your body. And that feels like that's really important and significant. And also having something where you're able to put energy into it, and then you're able to see the fruits of your labor, and it feels like it comes quickly. So it doesn't feel like it's going to be a long-term thing for you, but it does feel like it's answering a couple of different questions. It feels like one is helping to bring a bit of money and support in for you. But two, the most important thing is that it feels like it's physically satisfying for you, and you're able to physically see the fruit of your labor. Patience is an important thing, but I would encourage you to incorporate some energetic manifestation into the landscaping work that you're doing. So let's say, for example, part of what you're doing that day is some weeding. Then as you're doing that, think about the things that you're releasing. Maybe it's releasing challenges that you've experienced with other projects, or maybe it's releasing something that isn't working for you. And so it feels like each of the weeds that you pull out are representative of the things that you're releasing. Let's say you're planting things. Well, plant with energy and intention. So not only are you planting the plants, but you're also planting the intention that you have with different projects that you're working on. So as I said, it doesn't feel like this is necessarily a long-term thing for you, but it really feels like a great thing as an in-between. Let's just see what message is coming up for you in the cards. So what does Becky need to know? I'm going to say about landscaping, because honestly, that feels like a good next step. Ooh, there's lots of energy that's coming up with this. And I see this as being kind of similar for you as it was for the last person that we pulled this card for. There is a lot that's happening around you. And rather than getting into one of these vehicles and being part of the energy that's constantly in motion and constantly moving, come into the place of stillness, of knowing and accepting and being okay with that energy coming to you. We don't need to rush for it, or push for it, or try a little bit here and try a little bit here and try a little bit there and all over the place. We're coming into stillness with this, and we're allowing that energy to come to us, because we are that energy. We are this big building and this big building and this beautiful tree. And we've got some trees over here. That is what we are. We are grounded. And the seeds that we have planted already are coming to fruition, and they are coming to us. So there's a sense of magnetization that we aren't doing this. We are doing this. So yes, it feels like landscaping, getting your hands into the dirt and into the soil, feels like a wonderful forward movement for you to connect with that energy of being while still seeing things coming to fruition. Becky, I'm so incredibly grateful that you joined us this evening. I'm sending big hugs, lots of love and support your way. Let me see. Lee, I'm so sorry we do one question per person on the show. I'm so grateful that we were able to connect earlier. Let me see. Where are we going? Jazzy, hello. Thanks for joining us. Jazzy's asking, when will S break no contact? Okay, let's see. I'm getting a flip-flop on this. In part because it feels like this is a well-established pattern between the two of you. It doesn't feel like this is a first time. And I'm kind of questioning whether or not this is something that we actually want to happen. Mostly because it doesn't feel like the patterns that have existed have shifted. And so it feels like once that contact, that initiation is made again, it feels like everything starts to come back. And maybe initially it's okay, but then it feels like things don't progress in a positive way. I've got a lot of emotion that's coming up with and around this. I have hurt for sure, but I've also got some anger that's coming up, that's coming through. And I'm kind of wanting to encourage exploring that. And again, like anger and hurt are kind of two sides of the same coin. Um, and there's something else that's overlying it. It's a really interesting layering that's coming up. Um, and I'm not getting any straightforward messages about when the shift and the change is happening, mostly because it doesn't feel like it's actually what's in your best and highest good. And so the messages that are coming through have more to do with sitting with what is, with where things are, and like unpacking what is there. We're going to pull a card for you, my friend, and see what pops up. And we're going to see what pops up for you. What do we have? So we have this old kind of broken down, we have this old broken down truck that's sitting in the middle of a field. We've got in the background, we have this kind of cloudy, almost rainy energy. It's peaceful as it is, but it's also apparent that we're not moving forward. There's a lot that's going to need to happen in order for things to get up and running and things to work and to move forward again. And it kind of feels like we're broken down in the middle of nowhere. So there isn't a lot of help that's readily apparent for us. And it actually feels like we're maybe wanting to focus on either resting, relaxing, or possibly finding a little bit of shelter. Because as I said, like in the clouds here, it's not overly peaceful. I mean, like we're not stormy just yet, but it feels like it's the pause before the storm. There isn't anything in this picture that's saying, hey, we're moving forward right now. It's saying more that we're needing to address what is happening in the moment. And that's really what I have coming up for you is we're not focused on like what's the next step in the journey, what's happening, when, how. We're focusing more on, hey, we're going to be here for a while. And so let's do what we can to make ourselves comfortable. And I see this as actually a really beautiful pause, an opportunity for you to focus on the things that are important to you right now. And part of that may be doing some healing around the relationship and situation. But I don't have a timeline or time frame or anything that's coming up about S, because it really feels like it's focused more on you, my friend. Yeah, I'm sorry that I didn't have another answer for you, but I am really grateful that you popped on this evening, and I'm sending big hugs, lots of love and support your way, and lots of healing too. Yeah, I wish you the best. Awesome. Catherine, hello. It's great to see you. What is the next move I should focus on? Career, home, family, adventures? Um, I'm hearing adventures because that feels like that's the thing that's bringing excitement for you. It feels like we've been through lots of ups and downs, and things have been kind of all over the place, and we've been like planting and rooting and finding that place, and it just feels like let's take a moment to breathe, to have fun, to explore, to connect even more deeply with our surroundings, with the energy, um, with energy. They're also showing me, hold on, as much as I've got adventure coming up, and that was the first and that was the strongest. I'm also seeing and feeling that there's something that's popping up around work and career. Now, it's interesting because I don't know that I would necessarily call this career, mostly because uh, that might be the way that's the wrong way to put it. So I'll tell you the message and then I'll qualify it. It feels like this is going to be work that you're going to be doing for a bit of a temporary time, which is why I'm not calling it career, because it doesn't feel like you're doing a huge amount of building. It feels like there is work that's coming in for you, and maybe you've got 2-3 months that you're doing work while you're maybe making some plans and you're focusing on things, but like you're not building at this point. You're gathering enough that you can focus on the next step. But it feels like there's some big clarity that's popping up for you over kind of the next 3 to 6 months in that timeline. So we are basically the middle of May. I was going to say the end of May. So middle of May. So it takes us to middle of June, middle of July. Yeah, middle of August. Sounds about right. I was going to say sometime August, September is when it feels like we've got a bit of adventure that's coming up for you. And so the next couple of months feel like it's feeding into that. So work, possibly career, is coming up in that point. But I'm seeing taking a little bit of time and focusing on a slightly bigger adventure that allows you to let go, to explore, to really immerse yourself wherever it is that you are. It could be adventures that are close to home, but it feels like it's probably adventure that's a little bit further away from home. And then coming back, it feels like, okay, I've got renewed sense of clarity. I'm glad to be back. I'm able to ground. I know what I'm wanting to focus on. I know where my energy is going. So adventure is coming up to come to that point and place. Catherine, let's take a look and see what message is coming up for you. This is so interesting. I'm shuffling the cards. We have exactly the same card that's coming up for you right now. So again, like it feels like we're kind of stalled, but that isn't, in this case, that isn't a bad thing, because it's really allowing you to gather what it is that you want and need to focus on. So I never see stalling as being a bad thing or something that's detrimental, because it really gives us that opportunity to say, okay, what is it that's important to me? And to reflect on what has been and where we are and where we're wanting to go. So it feels like that's kind of the point and the place that you are right now. Again, it feels like the next couple of months, you're in a place where you're gathering, you're bringing things to you. So whether that's resources or ideas about where you want to go, or getting things set up so that you can go, it feels like we're preparing for movement here. And that there might be things that we're leaving behind with that as well. And if any time feels like it's a good time to start letting go, it's when we are broken down and rested. And maybe this is a good resting place for that before we prepare for the next steps moving forward. Catherine, I'm so incredibly grateful that you joined us this evening. I'm sending big hugs, lots of love and support your way. And if adventure is what you decide, I hope that you pop back and let us know what you're up to, because it feels really exciting. Awesome. Fabulous. Okay, Tanya, hello. It's great to see you. Lee, I'm sending big hugs to you. And thank you for the protection that you've sent out. That's beautiful. Mary Ellen, hello. It's great to see you. Mary Ellen says, hi, I'm so late. Did I do the right thing? And will my comments to do with the situation have any effect? And what will the outcome be? Okay, let me just see what we've got coming up. Did I do the right thing? Will my comments to do with the situation have any effect? And what will the outcome be? Okay. Yes. Yes, you did the right thing. Because it feels like I feel like you flip-flopping, going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and then nope, we're on the right track. So yes, you did the right thing. Will the comments to do with the situation have any effect, and what will the outcome be? Yes and no. It feels like what you shared was received, it was absorbed, it was pulled in, but I'm feeling resistance to making shift, to making change, and the imagery that I have is so bizarre. I had this thing when I was a kid. It was like a summer out time play thing that we had. It was a big inflated thing, and then it had some sort of weight at the bottom. And basically you kind of maybe punch at it and it would kind of like go backwards. I'm not going to do that too far. And forwards, and it would go side to side, and it would just kind of revolve around in this same place. And it feels like that's kind of what we have happening in the situation that you've asked about. Like, yes, I'm seeing that there's some shift that's happening, but because of the weight and the ground that's there, we're not actually seeing forward movement for the whole being, the whole entity. We're seeing some shifts and changes, but like the core is still feeling really rooted and grounded, where it's been placed. And part of what I'm hearing here is slow and steady wins the race. So there's a sense of slowness and taking time and not moving too quickly. This energy is also reminding me a little bit of Eeyore from the Winnie the Pooh books, and I have a new appreciation for Eeyore. Eeyore, I mean, the Winnie the Pooh books were written coming out of one of the world wars. I don't remember which one, but it's kind of believed that Eeyore took the characteristics of somebody who had come back from war, who had seen a lot, and who maybe was dealing with depression, what we now know is PTSD, what may have been shell shock at the time, and that, we're still engaging. We're still asking, we're still trying to support, but also recognizing where there may be limitations as well. And Eeyore is kind of the energy that's popping up around this person, this situation. And so like I am seeing that things have landed, but when it actually comes to change, it feels like it's taking some time. And that there's a lot of processing that needs to be done. And I don't know that that's completely comfortable on the other side of this. So change feels like change feels incremental and small. But it does come and it does happen, just maybe not as expected. And I'm kind of wanting to keep an eye on the small things. We have a card jumping out for you. So this is the card that's popping up for you today, my friend. And it's really interesting because we have this chain that has locks on top of the chain. And it's interesting. If you look at all of the gold locks, none of them are actually holding anything together. They're all wrapped around the chain as opposed to holding two pieces of the chain together, where actually what we see here is in the middle is with the heart. It's the heart lock that is holding everything together. And it feels like that's part of what we're needing to focus on, is we're needing to focus on the heart and the emotional aspect and the parts that are significant, because that's where everything changes. These do nothing. They're almost there as decoration, if you will. But this is where we can actually see change happening when we open it. And then, everything opens up. So if possible, don't focus on these. They're decorative. They aren't doing anything. If we're wanting to truly make change, we want to work with this guy here. So focus on the heart of the matter. And if we go back to that, that random childhood summer memory, there is movement that's happening, but the big movement isn't happening because of the weight that is the bottom. The big movement happens when we focus on this. Mary Ellen, I'm so incredibly grateful that you joined us this evening. I'm sending big hugs, lots of love and support your way. Lee, I'm sending big love to you too. Thanks for hopping on this evening. Okay, Avril, hello. It's great to see you. What do we have here? I've been experiencing high blood pressure and wondering if anything specific is coming up. What do we have going on here? I'm hearing triglycerides. I wish that I knew more about health and well-being. I'm going to assume that triglycerides, we're looking at cholesterol. So what that's telling me is that we're wanting to look at some other systems. I know Avril, and so I know that she is a beautiful woman of a certain age, and I'm kind of wanting to take a look into some HRT, hormone replacement therapy, because it feels like this is coming from out of nowhere. And I'm wondering if this is part of a system that could be being affected by shifts and changes that are happening on a hormonal level. And just to put it out there for women, we're coming to understand that hormones actually start to shift, change, and decrease and deplete as early as our early 30s. So if it's something that hasn't been addressed, then things could be coming in and out. And so I'm wanting to find somebody that I can talk to from a hormonal point of view, more to rule that out, because it could be that I'm wrong on that and that it's not part of what's fueling this, but I'm seeing cholesterol as being part of it. And my understanding is that actually cholesterol does play into hormonal balance as we gracefully age into our later years. What else is coming up with that too? There's a bit of stress that's coming up. It doesn't feel like it's enough to result in the increase that you're seeing. I'm really wanting to take a look into cholesterol though, because it feels like that's coming up. And this doesn't feel like this has to do with your diet. Your diet feels like it's great. So I'm wanting to make sure that your body has the support that it needs. Let's pull a card and see what we've got coming up for you, Avril. Let me see. Here we go. Jesus. It's the same card. Guys, I promise I'm shuffling these, but this is what it's coming through. The heart is at the heart of the matter with where you are and with what you're dealing with. So let's take a look and go a little bit deeper into that. Your heart is keeping everything together though. Like it's keeping everything else on track. It feels like it's working really hard to do its job. So again, like looking at all of these kind of freeloaders that we've got hanging out here, the heart is the one who's keeping everything together. So your heart is feeling like it's working really hard. And again, I'm wanting to focus and to make sure that your heart has the resources that it needs to support you appropriately. Yeah, because the high blood pressure, it feels like it's more an indication of something else that's happening as opposed to high blood pressure being the thing. Like it feels like it's like, oh, over here is what we need to focus on. I just wish that I knew more about the body to be able to tell you what I'm seeing. But as I said, what I did here was cholesterol. So I am wanting to encourage you to have your doctor take a look at your cholesterol levels and just make sure everything is okay there. Again, this is not a dietary thing. Your diet feels like it's great. Maybe there are a couple of things that you can include, but it doesn't feel like that's going to be the thing that supports it. And do take a look into HRT because it feels like that's kind of all of it is kind of coming together. So the high blood pressure is the result of a couple of other things that are going on, and I'm just not able to see what exactly they are. But I will call in Archangel Raphael and ask him to help and support you in finding the answers that you need and also finding the people who can help and support you. So whether that be like doctors and nurses and medical staff, whoever is in the best position to be able to help and support you, Archangel Raphael will help you to find them. I'm so incredibly grateful that you hopped on this evening. I'm sending big hugs, lots of love and support your way. Awesome. We're going to do one more. Crystal. Crystal says, I've been thinking of you and so happy to scroll and to see me. Awesome. I'm so happy that you popped on this evening. Thank you. Awesome. And Crystal's got a question here. Am I making the right decision career-wise? Yes. I'm hearing yes, but it feels like there could be a bit of a timing. Timing is part of what's popping up for you. So I don't know if you've already started to put a change into works or what's happening. But it does feel like we've got a couple of months where things are kind of up and down. And so either this is because there's big change that's happening or because we're shifting gears or somebody else is needing to shift things in order to be able to accommodate what you've chosen and what you're deciding to do. So yes, it is the right choice, but there are these other things that are shifting in order to be able to accommodate where you are and moving forward. So it does feel like it is a really positive and healthy decision, healthy forward movement for you. And it's going to take a little bit of time for it to come into a place where it's feeling really solid and really good. But it does feel like it's a good choice for you moving forward. Let's just see if we've got any additional messages that we can share with you. I keep kind of seeing somebody who's feeling like they might be having a hard time with the choice that you've made. And kind of what I'm seeing is somebody who probably is either planning is either important to them, or you've been carrying a lot of weight with what you've been doing. And because you're shifting and changing, some of that's falling on them. So I am feeling a little bit of frustration that's coming up, but I'm hopeful that what I'm seeing is somebody who is mature, who's able to accept that, yep, things are shifting and changing. And this is actually what's best for Crystal. And we will find a way forward as well. So I've got a card jumping out for you. Oh my gosh, you guys, like this is the third time this card is pulled out. I think I've only pulled 9 cards tonight. Okay, so the message that we have for you here, Crystal, is this card. So there's lots of movement. Things are shifting. They're shifting quickly. They're shifting rapidly. But we're moving towards like the quote unquote right place. We're heading into whatever's going on here. We're heading into something that's feeling bigger and better and grounded and stable. But there are lots of things that are needing to shift in the meantime in order to help facilitate us getting there. So one of the things that's important for you moving forward is become really clear in your choice if you haven't made it yet, and the decision that you're making, and coming into clarity in terms of your whys. So what was it that motivated you? What was it that was important to you? What are you prioritizing in making these shifts and changes? And what that's going to do is that's going to help to solidify for yourself the decision that you've made. And so if there are any energies or people outside of you that are frustrated or inconvenienced or whatever it may be, you being solid in your choice and decision is going to offset any frustration that they're feeling. Because it also is popping up that you may be susceptible to feeling and experiencing other people's energy and emotion. And it feels like there could be, as I said, some frustration that's coming up around the shift and the changes that you're making. So you being strong and firm in those choices, in how they are positive and beneficial for you, helps to make the overall adjustment that much easier. So as I said, there's lots of energy that's popping up, and I'm really feeling drawn to pull one more card for you. Here we go. So this is also showing me that there's a lot of freedom that's coming up as well. I see dandelions as being wishes. So in the choices and the decisions that you've made, you're already getting things to start going. You've got wishes and energy that you're putting out there as well, but we still have lots of potential that's here too. So it's not like you've used all of the wishes, all of the energy. There's still more that you're able to use to put into your choice and decisions. We've got lots of freedom, things moving forward, and that really helps to open up this card as well. So things are shifting, they are feeling positive, but there are people or a person who is having a hard time accepting the choice that you've made. You can't do anything to make that easier for them, because the choices that you've made do feel like they support you and your best interests. And sometimes you need to put yourself first in order to be able to continue forward in a healthy way in your own life. Crystal, I'm so incredibly grateful that you joined us this evening. I'm sending big hugs, lots of love and support your way. I've got a couple of archangels that are popping up for you too. Archangel Shamuel helps and supports us with career, especially if we're making career changes or finding new careers. And Archangel Ariel is popping up, and she's kind of like, she has your back. She's the girlfriend who always has your back. And she's helping and supporting you with bravery and courage in stepping forward and making the changes that you're looking at making. My friends, I am so incredibly grateful that you hopped on and joined me this evening, especially since I didn't put it out there until later today, that we would be connecting. As I said, my plan is that we will come back and reconvene next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Pacific, which is 10 p.m. Eastern. Also, I have the Psychic Play Group that's coming up next Wednesday, May the 20th. It's $33 for the evening. I have more information on my website, Heavenly, Lee, messenger.com. And you can find all of that information in the classes section. And then there's also a class registration that's available there. You can email me as well, Erin, Erin, at Heavenly, Lee, messenger.com. And then the last one that we have is the Intuitive Development Weekend that's coming up May 23rd and May 24th. So not this coming weekend, but the following weekend, just a little less than 2 weeks away. We're going to be focusing on connecting with all four of our intuitive pathways: clairvoyance, which is clear sight; clairaudience, which is clear hearing; clairsentience, which is clear feeling; and claircognizance, which is clear knowing. We are going to be breaking out the intuitive development card deck, which is this one here. I've got a couple more copies. We're going to be playing with those this weekend, and you will be one of the first people to play and experience with them. And I'm so excited to share that. Thank you again for joining me. It's always a pleasure to connect with you in this way. And I'm truly grateful for the time that you've taken out of your day to be here with me. I'm Erin Lee of heavenlymessenger.com, and I hope that you have an incredibly fabulous week. See, this is where it would come in handy for me to have like a producer or something, somebody who can do like the next step, which is the outro. So I have it all lined up. I'll see you next week. Bye, my friends.